be all the same one. The first set you gave me was all the same. I think,
Oh.
unless it's different.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's what I need. Okay, so you got, oh, that's Mondays. Yeah, those are all Mondays.
Just give me
Yeah.
this.
Okay, a whole set. Here you go.
Thank you.
Just Mondays. Could you, those who got them, can you please just check that you don't got duplicates? Just Mondays recipes. Anybody? Just Monday? Okay.
Is this the whole set for the week? And then
Pretty
we
much.
take the break? That's
Yeah, and I'm gonna give you a few extras. What you wanted a whole?
No, honey, I wanted to ask you a question before I forget. You know how there's all these different kind of beans? Is it one kind that's less gassy than others, or are they all just?
They're gassy because of how they're made, how it's cooked. You have to soak them overnight or put them in a pressure cooker. And then if you soak them overnight, you dump out the water. In the pressure cooker,
Well, they still disgust me a bit, so I guess it must just be me.
It can be, and I will talk to you about that, because that might be your ability to digest protein in itself, and maybe a combination of what you're eating. If you're eating high protein with something sweet, it will give you gas, because the stuff that's sweet, or like let's say fruits and vegetables. So we got to figure out what is it that you're eating. Give me a second.
This is Mondays, so
Okay.
I'll return it to you. And the lady here will
Liz, I
need
am going to
at
be
least
getting
one
started
set. If you
here
don't have
just
enough,
about
just
This is one set.
for the
I have
whole
an
week. Okay.
announcement to give you in
And
a
then
moment
Just one
as
this
set.
well.
lady here behind my daughter.
Make sure
needs
you
a
come
set
up
if
and
you
get
have
the
one.
hand.
Okay, I don't have a set, so I will have to print it. All right, guys, we're ready to start.
All
Let's
right.
listen to DW.
All right. So, who's been blessed by the cooking class the last 2 days? Well,
I
Liz.
said,
Well,
what do you do normally?
you made a
She said,
great
"Well, we
point I
help her."
wanted to share. If you
She
didn't
said, "We
make
never
it,
sat down
there's a
for
couple
table." I
different
said, "I
ways that
noticed
you
you
can
kept
check
jumping up
out
trying
the
to serve
previous
yourself.
presentations.
She said,
Currently,
"Yeah, we're not
they're
used
up
to the table."
on Facebook, but they'll be taken down eventually when we have the edited versions. We also have it on our YouTube channel, so you can subscribe to our YouTube and our Facebook channels. You can like us at the Mountain View Conference on Facebook or subscribe on YouTube. And then also in the back, where you get your bulletins and your handout and everything
you
out
need?
there
What did you
in the
need?
complete back. It's
What's
right
it- did you
underneath
need
the
a
clock.
recipe?
There's a
Did
paper
you need
where you
something?
can buy CDs and you can also
Okay, these
buy
are the handouts for
USB
today.
of all the presentations
Yes,
that
you wanted the
happened
handout
this
for
week.
today?
Or you can just choose
Okay,
to
these are
buy
handout for
like
today. He
Liz
can help you give these
Iannacone's
out.
presentation specifically.
can follow him.
So
You can
those
give
are
them to
available
everybody, okay?
for purchase. They have a paper in the back. They
Yes.
like you to fill it out
Now,
so
this
they
is
know
2
what to make
pages,
ahead
okay?
of time. But if you
2
have
pages,
more
yeah.
questions, you can ask Barry Scott, who's in the back on the AV team, leading
Yes.
leading the charge, and also Ricky when he's here. And let's give our AV team, Ricky and Barry and Larry, a hand.
Barry?
Well, we're going to start, but it wouldn't be appropriate if we started without saying a word of prayer. So let's pray for Liz as she presents. We've all been really blessed, Liz, and we're looking forward to you continuing the presentations here. Let's pray together. Father in heaven, we are thankful and praise you for waking us up and giving us breath. And Father, that's why we want to live healthy for you. That's why we want to reach out to people in a healthy way. So Father, my prayer is that you will pour out your Holy Spirit and that you will anoint Liz's lips as she presents a way for us to do outreach and to be healthy about it with meals. And Father, we just thank you for giving us good health. And for those of us who would rather have better health, Father, I pray that you will lead us and give us the wisdom and the clarity to have good health. And as Liz presents these presentations, I pray that they will come across clear so that we will understand a way to be healthier while we eat. And Father, I just pray that you'll take any nervousness away and that you will just allow her to present the truth of how we can be healthier during these last days. We pray it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Did everybody get a ticket?
I'm getting confused.
I'm sorry? Okay. Can I grab those? Here, I'll cut this off.
And I can't for...
Okay, anybody, if someone did not get a ticket, please raise your hand. You can put those right over there.
So William, those are the ones who need a ticket. William Iannacone is also here as well. It's great to have a super team up here for good health.
While I separate these, I want you to help me give my husband. My daughter's not here, but when you see my daughter, tell her thank you for making the desserts. All the desserts that you've tasted, Gracie has made them. Okay, she's worked really hard to the point where she's like, Mommy, I want to go to one of the activities. I'm like, okay, make the recipe and then we can make it. And then we didn't make it yesterday to the activity. She was so disappointed. And so I said to her, you know what? If we work a little late tonight and we make some of the things ahead of time and we get into the kitchen early in the morning, we can get out in time. So I'll tell you what, go ahead, let's sign up in faith. And that we're going to get everything done and you can go. Well, she went biking today. Okay, so please make sure when you see her, just say thank you, Gracie. And let's give William a hand of applause because he's been fantastic. He's been really helping me. And he's just been right there by my side to help me. And that's been a great help. Okay, so guess what, everybody? You know, I totally forgot. I have this really cute pizza hat. And I wanted to bring it because I thought it was fun, and I left it home. But today we're having pizza! Woo! Homemade New York style pizza. So you can officially tell someone that comes to your home that you know how to make New York style pizza. There's nothing like New York style pizza. We were spoiled coming from New York, and when we came here to West Virginia and we tasted the West Virginia pizza, we were disappointed. And my husband and I, we looked at each other like, this is terrible. We're gonna suffer. So we've gone to several different, there's only one place. We've gone down to going towards Beckley by the Tamarack. There's an Italian restaurant down there that knows how to make good pizza. So, but they're quite a distance from us, and so once in a while we'll go down that way. But I was determined. I said, if I cannot go to a place, I'm not gonna wear it. You can leave it here because I'm gonna need it for the people. I said to myself that if I cannot go to a restaurant that makes New York style pizza, I'm gonna learn to make it myself. And I tested different recipes until I found one that I loved, and you get to have that recipe, okay? And so just recently, I was at Walmart, and even in Kroger's, now they're carrying it. King Arthur has made a semolina pizza flour. It's very fine, it's perfect for pizza. It works fantastic. And I was so excited about it, and on the back of the bag, they have a thin crust pizza recipe that is fantastic, and we're gonna do that today. Right here, okay? And so it's King Arthur 00 pizza flour, and the 00 means that it's been grounded down really fine. Okay, so it makes a really nice soft dough that is fantastic, okay? Barry, I need to put something up on the screen. How we do this? Okay, thank you. Okay, so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to get two people that want to help me, and I'm going to guide you. Okay, so you're going to make the pizza dough. One person's going to make it by hand, the other person's going to use the machine. Okay, so if you're going to make bread, you need to invest in some type of bread mixing machine, okay, like a KitchenAid. This one is old. This one is a Kitchenetics. They don't sell this anymore. I bought it when at the time when they sold it, and it came with the blender. The blender part doesn't work anymore, but the mixing bowl still works. And I do have a KitchenAid, and I use it quite often. The KitchenAid is heavy, and so I didn't want to, this one is lighter, so I just brought this one, but you can use a KitchenAid very successfully, okay? And so, but I want to show you today, one person's going to do it by hand, kneading. The other person is going to do it in the machine. Okay, so that's that. Now we got all the tickets here. I have as a giveaway today these small breads, okay, in this nice clay ceramic container, okay? And so we're gonna give these 2 away. Actually, we have 3 that we can give away. This one doesn't have the clay container, so you'll have a choice, okay? Now, in the recipes that you have, there is a recipe for 1 loaf bread recipe, right? Am I correct? That's this recipe here, okay? It's a nice whole wheat bread. It's soft, no oil. Applesauce replaced the oil, and the bread comes out nice and moist and soft, okay? Now today I'm gonna show you though what's the trick, okay? You need to know what the trick is to successfully making good bread and anything that's a baked item, and so we're gonna show you that today as well. So let's do the raffle right now.
You want me to pick it? Or you want
Yeah, go ahead, pick it.
Okay, you got the microphone.
Okay, 257-502. 257-502. All right. Okay, so you pick which one you want. All right, there you go. Let's do another one. You get to share, you have to share it, okay? Okay, and if you've won already a gift, let's try to give somebody a chance, okay? 257-493. 257-493, all right, come on over and you can pick one of these. Thank you. Okay. One more. 257-506. Okay. There you go. Okay, there you go. Huh? Yes. 1 loaf, I made those 3 little ones. Yes. Okay. So we got pizza, and we also have this one I want to show you. Maybe the mic is still on. So that 1 loaf bread recipe, you can also make a stuffed pizza. A stuffed bread. And the filling in this is the spinach tofu filling that we made yesterday. And we put it in this, okay? For our supper club, we make calzones, which is like little pockets, like you fold it over and you press the sides, okay? They look like a beef patty, okay, similar to that. But today I just put I did 1 recipe on the bottom and then another recipe on top, and I just did the filling with that, and today we're gonna just cut it so you can sample it. And then I just sprinkled over this basil, oregano, garlic, and a little bit of vegan Parmesan on top, okay? Just show it to them. This is one of the pizzas that we've made today, and this is with the Neapolitan style pizza crust, okay, recipe that you have. Now, the only difference in that recipe, and you can take note on that, is you'll see that it says 1/8 of a teaspoon of yeast, right? If your pizza dough is gonna sit overnight and you're gonna bake it and you're gonna make your pizza the next day, which is what you should do, because the flavors really develop and the gluten really develops in the flour, in the dough, okay? So you really should make it the day before, but let's just say you didn't have that time and you wanna make it today. You just have to increase the yeast to 2 teaspoons. And that will help your bread to rise faster, okay? And then you can bake it on the same day, okay? It just needs to sit for about 45 minutes, and then you can roll out your dough or press it out, and you'll see how we'll do it today, and then you can make your pizza the same day. But if you want to have less yeast, then you follow the recipe and you put it in your refrigerator in the morning, you take it out, leave it out for a couple of hours so it warms up. You can even leave it on top of your stove as long as the stove is not on, and it will warm up nicely, okay? Yes? 2 teaspoons, right. Big difference, yeah. So that yeast gets to develop with the flour, but now it's not gonna rise as much as the 2 teaspoons, but it'll rise some, and it's gonna be thin crust. The one with the 2 teaspoons is gonna be a thicker crust, okay? All right, let's watch this video. This is a doctor, you'll see his name, I forget now, let me see here. Dr. Sean Hashmi, and he is from Loma Linda, and he is going to give us some information about a health study that was done on plant-based diets and the benefits of the plant-based diets, how it helps with reversing disease and just being in better health. And he's going to talk about, it's only 8 minutes long, he's going to talk about that health study that was done, okay? So the research is out. We can prove it now. Okay, hold on. I forgot to put the sound.
Welcome to another YouTube video for selfprinciple.org. Today we want to look at the Adventist study and look at what is the evidence that it provides around eating mostly plants. So let's take a look at the data and see how eating plants can be such an excellent part of our eating plan. So what was the study really about? Well, basically we know that there's some evidence that suggests that eating mostly plants or more of a vegetarian type eating pattern may be associated with a lower rate of death, but we need to have more data around it. That's according to the premise. So that was exactly what they wanted to take a look in this particular study. And what's important to note about this study is in order to look at a strength of a study or how good is it and how can we rely on it, we always want to see the word prospective instead of retrospective. That means we're looking forward in time and not behind. And it's also really important to note what are the things that they're trying to control for. Now, they can always be stuff they can't control for, but what they control for can help us to get a clear idea of how much value to give to the final conclusions. So, what did they end up doing? Well, they ended up actually recruiting about 73,308 participants after all of the exclusion criteria was met. And it was important to understand how they came up with their definitions for different eating patterns. So, if you were a non-vegetarian, according to them, that meant that you ate meat more than once a week. If you were semi-vegetarian, means kind of like a flexitarian, meant that basically you could have meat more than once a month, but really you had it less than once a week. Pesco, which meant you ate fish, and otherwise you were considered a vegetarian. So fish was more than once a month, but everything else in terms of meats was less than once a month. And lastly, lacto-ovo-vegetarian, they ate eggs and dairy greater than once a month. Now, of course, vegan was really straightforward because it was no eggs, no dairy, no meats. And the frequency, if you even had it, was less than a month. So in other words, if you had it one time in 2 months or something, that would count. So, what were they looking for? Well, they wanted to see mortality. So the problem with trying to find data on things like what is the number of people that die is very difficult. And you end up requiring things like looking at tumor board registries, state indexes, and so forth to try to get that. And that always creates issues. Now, follow-up. This is one of the most important things we look at because the longer the follow-up, the more validity that you have, or the more proof you have. So it was okay. It was 5.79 years. And then, of course, they adjusted for a number of things that were important so that you could compare essentially apples apples to apples. All right, let's get into the fun stuff. What are the results? So when they compared vegetarian versus non-vegetarian, what they found was that as you moved towards whole foods, plant-based eating, your all-cause mortality went down 12%. Gender stratification, why this was important, was what they found was that this wasn't significant in women, only significant in men. In terms of other stuff, such as non-heart disease, non-cancer deaths, so they could be deaths due to kidney disease or diabetes-related deaths, those dropped 15% overall. And kidney deaths, surprisingly, and for a kidney specialist like me, not surprisingly, but to most people surprisingly, had a huge impact of going towards whole foods, plant-based, and even an endocrine, which would be diabetes-related deaths. Now, what about all of those different definitions I gave you earlier about the vegans, the lacto-ovo, which is dairy and eggs, and the pesco, which is fish plus vegetarian? I know those are confusing terms, but what did all that stuff mean? Well, if you looked at non-cardiovascular, non-cancer, which means basically things like kidney disease deaths or endocrine-related deaths such as diabetes, vegans had the greatest drop in mortality, 26%. Pesco vegetarians had a very significant drop and even higher slightly to 29%. Now, all-cause mortality, it turned out that those people who were doing lacto-ovo had a drop of 9%. Pesco, which were the fish eaters, had 19% reduction in the risk of dying from all causes. What about ischemic heart disease? Well, once again, the fish eaters had the reduction going on. Okay, so all that being the case, what should we really learn from this study? So in order to understand how to interpret the results, we always have to look at what were the things in this study that makes the data a little bit hard to gather. So for example, this is a cohort study that is only showing correlation, which means that if you wore a blue shirt today and it rained outside, I could say that, hey, blue shirts are correlated to rain, but that doesn't mean wearing a blue shirt causes it to rain outside. Now, the Seventh-day Adventist population is not representative of the U.S. population. They are very healthy to begin with. You know, for us at Self Principle, my mantra has always been to sleep more, move more, love more, and eat mostly plants. And the Seventh-day Adventists are the epitome of this. So you're taking a very healthy population, following them, and trying to tease out differences, which may be very hard to do. Versus in a general population, you may actually have very significant differences. And of course, whenever you do a study, there may be other differences that you haven't accounted for. Now, one of the things that's so difficult in dietary studies is that how often do you measure? Now, in this particular case, they did the assessment just in the beginning when they started the study. So in other words, people who were, let's say they were eating fish and they were vegetarians, may have decided to give up fish down the line thinking that that may be the right thing to do. So people's dietary patterns can sometimes change, especially when they know they're being measured as part of a study. So they try to do what they think that the study authors would want them to do. So single measurements can pose an error. And of course, I have a hard enough time trying to remember what I ate yesterday. So if you're asking people in a long questionnaire all these details about what they normally eat, is it possible there may be biases? Of course. Now, what's important in the vegetarian group was that they were already older, highly educated, likely to be married, they drank less alcohol, smoked less, exercised more, and were thinner. So the vegetarian group versus the non-vegetarian group was already considered to be more in a healthier state, and that would have made it difficult to tease out some differences because they already have all these other things going for them. So the fact that the vegetarians came out ahead is not surprising, but the fact that it was harder to find differences between the different vegetarian groups, lacto-ovo, pesco, and vegan, could be because it's already a highly healthy group. And of course, the follow-up wasn't that sure. But despite all of that, this is a large study, well-designed study, and it gives us a very important educational knowledge to take home. So what can you take home from this data? Very simple. If you eat mostly plants, you are going to have a lower risk of death plant-based, that is wonderful, because not only will you help yourself, you will help the environment, you will put a reduction or an end to animal cruelty, which to me is an incredibly powerful thing. But part of this journey is to help you move down that spectrum and to understand wherever we are, we can be better people. So I want to thank everybody for joining us for this important video. Don't forget to follow us on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and our website, selfprinciple.org, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
How did you like that video? Very informative, right? Short and sweet. I think the data is very convincible. So that is, you write down that website, because you can actually use this as a health nugget for your church, or when you do a supper club or some type of event that's health related, you can show something short and sweet like this that is very beneficial. So the take on that was that if you want to be able to live healthier and really live longer and not die from diseases, he recommends a total plant-based diet. Isn't that great? And I think that this week our goal has been to be able to show you that eating totally plant-based can be very delicious, you know? Okay, so right now what we're going to do is we're going to go and I'm going to show you the almond jewel cookie recipe, and then we're going to go into our pizza crust recipe. I forgot to mention that I'm going to show you how to make that. Okay, so take out your almond jewel cookie recipe. And this is a really quick, easy recipe. I love desserts that are quick and easy and taste great. If you don't mind lowering my volume on my it's up there. They have them. You guys have them, right? Everybody has them? Okay, hold on, let me see. Check the back of your papers. Oh, you know where it was? Let's see. Hold on a second. Cherry coconut ice cream. All right, give me a second. Ah, here it is. Sorry about that. You might as well, you know what? I might as well give you these, but as long as you bring it tomorrow, bring your recipes with you, because. Okay. All right. Oh boy, let's get some guys here, help them out so that everybody can get that recipe. But it's on the screen. Okay, so look up on the screen. I'll make it a little bit bigger for you. Okay, how's that? Can everybody see that? Okay, the recipe requires 1 1/4 cup of quick oats. The quick oats gets blended in the blender. Okay, and let me see, did Gracie do that already? Yes, she did. She blended it up for me. She's such a good girl. Okay, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2/3 cup of brown sugar or Truvia brown sugar, which is a mixture of stevia and another sweetener that does not spike your glucose. 1 tablespoon of regular or Rumford's baking powder, 2 cups of almond flour or raw almonds, 1/2 cup of applesauce, 1/4 cup of water, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and 1/3 cup of purchased fruit jam, and sugarless or without sugar. I found that the one with sugar stays on the cookie. The one without the sugar just kind of spills over, but it still tastes good. So it depends what you want to do, okay? Anyway, look how beautiful these cookies came out. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, very easy, very tasty, no oil. The oil is in the nuts. Let me see, in the applesauce, in the almonds. The applesauce replaces the oil, but the almond flour is adding extra moisture and also fat to your cookie, okay? So let's look at the directions. And the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to place the flour, the cornstarch, the salt, the brown sugar, the baking soda, and 1 cup of the almonds in the food processor, which we didn't bring, but I'm going to just mix it into the bowl because we didn't bring the food processor. So we'll just do it in here. in the old-fashioned way. um, and, uh, and blend for 1 minute or until the nuts are fine as flour. Now, I'm going to tell you why my daughter didn't do that. And that is because everything is already grounded up. And what we like to do is we just buy almond flour. Okay, so we don't have to grind it up. That's why I'm wondering, I told her, I said, make sure you put everything with it, but that's the reason why it doesn't need it, because it's already ground up. Okay, so it says add the remaining cups, let's see, or until nuts are fine as flour, add remaining cup of almonds and blend for 10 seconds. Second cup of almonds should be ground to a coarse meal about the texture of whole wheat berries. Okay, so you follow those directions if you're going to use whole almonds. If not, you just have the bag and you pour. Okay, so it's a great way to use your almond flour. Okay, so let's do that. Let's mix all the flour. So this is my oat flour, and I need my spatula here. Put my oat flour there. And this is my almond flour. And I'm just going to mix those together. Now, if you had it in the food processor, it would automatically mix it for you, right? So I'm just doing it by hand. And these are the sugar. This is the, now in this one, there's Truvia, and then there's regular sugar in this. Okay. Yeah, she used the Truvia and just regular raw. We ran out on this recipe, but the one that you're tasting has the Truvia only. So if you are diabetic, this is diabetic friendly, okay? But this one does have sugar, and it has a little mixture of the Truvia in it. In the meantime, while I'm mixing this, I need 2 people that are going to help me with the pizza recipe today. Who wants to help me? I need 2 adults that are going to help me with this. 2 adults, okay? I got one here, and I have another person over there. Okay, just remember who you are, okay? Okay, got that mix. I'm going to add, this is the baking powder, cornstarch, and the salt. Mix that together. And can you get me a spoon there? I'm going to use a spoon today, but normally we like to use those little small ice cream scoops. Okay, that's what we normally use. Just a regular spoon, yeah. Yeah, right there in the box. Okay, now all the wet ingredients go together. So I have my applesauce here, and this is my vanilla. And I think there's water, a 1/4 cup of water. So you see that the dry get mixed together and the wet get mixed together. That's a rule of thumb when it comes to baking. No matter what you do, wet goes together, gets mixed, the dry goes together and gets mixed, then you blend them together. Okay, mix that. I'm going to add that here. Okay, and then it will just all come together. Now with the food processor, it's a lot faster. Not that you can't do it by hand, but just takes a little bit longer by hand. But it's coming together quite quick. And you know that it has come together because all the flour has stuck. It's coming like almost into a ball. And so the almond and the oat flour will start to absorb all that moisture, all the liquid. And so I'm going to lift this up here. I wish I had that camera from above, right? We'll probably have to do that for next year. But you see how it's just starting to come together. And it's moist, so what you will do is you will allow this to sit for about 10 minutes and let the oat flour continue to absorb the moisture. Now, not all almond flours are the same and not all oats are the same. Some oats are thicker. Quick oats can be thicker, even though it's quick oats. Some of them, like the gluten-free ones, tend to take longer to absorb the liquid in the batter. So you have to let it sit for a little bit, like maybe 10, 15 minutes. Now, with this batter, I noticed that, I'm not sure if it was the oat flour, we were using the Quaker Oats quick oats, and I'm not sure if it was the quick oats or the almond, but we noticed that we needed to add a little bit more almond flour to it, okay? So I'm just gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes, but basically what you do is you take with the ice cream scoop, and your hands can be a little wet if it starts to stick. I'm just gently rolling it. And you roll it like this, put it on your dish. Now, I know I had a spray. Did we bring the spray thing? Remember I said to bring it? Oh no, okay. I'm gonna have to leave some things up here. Okay, so you take the back of your ice cream scoop and you press in the center, and that gives it the little pocket so that you can put your jelly into. Okay, and that's it. Okay. So we're gonna see if we can make the rest of this, and we're gonna give it to the food truck to sell so that we can raise funds for education. Okay. All right, so let's go into our pizza recipe, and those who volunteered, you can come up now. William, I'm gonna need that bowl. Yeah. Let's see.
You can put it in here.
Yeah, put it in that, and then cover it. Yes, if you want to, yeah. Okay, can you wash your hands real quick? In the bathroom? Yeah. Do you mind wiping it down? Just, yeah, real quick. Just wipe it down with the paper towel. Okay, when you bake bread, it is a good idea to get a scale. Okay, any professional baker will weigh their flour, will weigh their water, pretty much everything they will weigh. Okay, except the minute ingredients like your yeast or maybe your vanilla flavorings and stuff like that. But the majority of everything else will get weighed. And if you notice in this recipe, and it may not be written in yours, okay, I'm not sure. Let me take a look at what you got. Because I printed it, no, the pizza recipe.
There it is.
Okay, yeah, it does say it goes by grams. And it says 232 grams of flour. So that makes it easy to be able to take your flour and just pour it in your container. If you don't have a scale, then you have to do this, okay? And I'm gonna show you that. All right, come on over because I want to show you both this, okay? I'm going to have you stand over here, and he can stand over here, okay? And you're going to do the hand kneading, and he's going to use the machine, okay? So I'm explaining to them that there's a trick of the trade, okay, where how you use flour, okay? Most professionals are going to weigh their flour, and you are going to weigh your flour, okay? But if you don't weigh your flour, what you need to do is take your spoon or fork, mix your flour, and then spoon your flour into your measuring cup. Don't shake it, don't pat it down, because what you're going to do is make whatever you're making heavy. Okay, if you want it light and fluffy, okay, you need to spoon it in. And I know this may be a pain, but if you want something that's going to taste good, right? No pain, no pleasure, right? Okay, then I take the back of my spoon and I just kind of level it out like this. Okay? And it needs just a little bit more. Okay? And it says there are 2 cups of flour, right? So I have your first cup, okay? So just remember that. Okay, and I'm gonna put that into, actually, we're not gonna do that yet because we need to put the liquid first in here. okay? But anyways, that's how we do it, okay? All right, let's go with the liquid first. Let's put that into the bowl. We're gonna mix that, and then we're gonna add the flour on top of that, okay? And it just, for me, that's the way it works better, okay? So the liquid, it says there, let's go through the ingredients. It's King Arthur pizza flour, 1/8 of a teaspoon of active dry yeast or instant yeast. So there's 2 different types of yeast, okay? Active dry yeast takes a little bit longer to activate. The instant yeast, you'll find it like this, like quick rise. That just means that it's going to activate faster. Okay, so your baked product, you can make it faster. And that's what we're going to use today. Okay. You're going to need sugar. That helps the yeast to activate. The salt and lukewarm water. And water, the temperature of the water is very, very important. Okay. Because you can kill the yeast if the water is too hot or not warm enough. So I always have a thermometer, okay, and you're going to pour your water, okay, and you're going to weigh it. And it says, how many grams does it say there of water? 170. 170, okay? Or it says 3/4 cup of water. Okay, so we're going to go to grams there, and you pour it until you hit 170, okay? Okay, keep going a little slow. Go ahead, keep going. And when you get close to the, okay, there, just drop by drop now. A little drop more. Okay, right there. Okay, you went over it by a little bit, but we'll just get it by with the spoon. 170, right there. I have experience with that. So here, you can pour that into there. And then you can go ahead and add, and your recipe is on your bag, so you can look at that. You can go ahead and add your salt and your sugar, which is here. This is your sugar, and don't add your salt yet, just add your sugar, right, and add your oil. And you got a spatula. Do you have a spatula here? I think I took your spatula. Okay, we're just gonna wipe this off. Okay, there you go. All right, you can go ahead and you can measure out your water. And we're going to zero this out because right now it's saying 2, so you want to make sure you always zero out. So you can start 170. Go ahead, start pouring, and I'll tell you when to slow down. Okay, start slowing down. Go ahead. Oh, drop by drop. Just one little drop. This is so nerve-wracking. I was like, it's gonna go over. One little drop. We can always take it out. So go ahead. Woo! Wow, that was good. It's almost like winning the lottery there, you know? It's like, okay. Okay, so now you can add your sugar and your oil, and you got that mixed. Go ahead, mix it with the spatula.
Okay, I didn't want to cool the water
Yep,
too much.
that's your, okay, actually, oh, yeah, right in here. That's your salt. So just get your sugar and your oil first. We'll put the salt in with the flour. Yep. Now, salt tends to kill the yeast, so I always like to add it last. Go ahead, just pour it right in, and pour in your oil, okay? And then
Do you want to check the
you can,
temperature or
yeah, we could do that.
is it,
Here.
I don't know.
So just go, yeah, take it and put it there, and just tell me what the temperature is. It may have cooled down some, so, but it's quick rise, so I think it has a little grace.
82.
82, okay. So it's a little bit cold, but it's okay. I think we're gonna survive. It'll be fine. So just pour it right in, and you can go ahead and put in your yeast in here. I'm gonna take this bowl so it doesn't confuse anyone. Go ahead, put it in there. I'm sorry? Oh, it's about the same temperature, yeah. So go ahead, put in your yeast. Just pour it right in. He's methodical. Okay, I'm gonna turn it on and go on low. Oh, I pressed it for you, sorry. Go, hit medium. Hit medium. And you're just gonna mix it real quick. Go on high. Okay, you can stop it. My stop button is broken. All right, you're good. Okay, so now we're gonna add the flour, okay, and you're gonna weigh it. I wish I had two, I should have brought 2 scales, okay? So you're gonna weigh it at 232 grams, okay? So just pour it, let's turn it on. Always make sure your unit is on and it's on grams and it's on 0, okay? So start pouring until you get to 232. Keep going. Oh, you're close. You went a little bit over, so go ahead and take it out with this. Oh, good job. All right. Boy, you're easy. You're easy to teach. Okay, so your turn now. Just pour it right in.
I actually have a scale at home that I use sometimes.
Okay. Use your spatula to scoop it all out. Yep. Now, she used the whole packet of the yeast, not 1/8 teaspoon, because we're going to make it today. But the one that you tasted did sit overnight, okay? All right, so now you're going to measure out yours, 232 grams. Let's make sure it's 0, so hit this button until you 0 out. There you go. Okay, now pour your flour, and you can start mixing it. Now, if you notice, I didn't wait for the yeast to bubble up. You know how, normally with the regular yeast, you have to wait till it activates and it bubbles. You have to let it sit for about 5 minutes. With this quick rise, you don't need to do that. Okay, a question. There's oil in this recipe. Oh, in this one? No, there's no oil in the ingredients, but when you spray the pan, you need to put oil. Now, I'm sorry.
We did put a little.
It's not in we did put a little bit of oil because I found that New York style pizza has to have oil if it's going to have the texture and the consistency that it needs. But I left it like that in your recipe because you have a choice if you want to put oil or if you don't. Okay, real careful there. You got right there. Good job. Okay, wonderful. Now you're going to knead it by hand, okay, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You're going to pour it in here and you're going to let the machine do the work, okay? So do it this way, okay? Go ahead, I'll hold it there for you. Don't be afraid, just pour it right in, get it in there. You can always scoop it off the machine. Okay, good job. I'll take that from you, okay? And just give me a moment so that I can show her and everybody can see because the machine is going to make a little bit of noise. So what you want to do with your flour, you see that it's a little sticky, right? So you're just going to put a little flour in here like that, okay? And what you want to do is press in the center and then fold. You take a corner and you fold it in. Take a corner, fold it in. Take a corner, fold it in. And you see that it's sticky, so just take the dough, rub it against the flour, and just keep doing that. Keep folding it in like that. Okay? All right. Now you're going to do the easy part. You're going to let it start mixing. So we're going to turn it on. Put it on medium. And with the bowl, with the KitchenAid and the mixing machines, let me turn this off for a second. You'll know that your flour is right because when you add flour little by little, it will stop sticking to the sides of the bowl. And it will just come to a nice smooth mass, okay? And so that's how you know that your flour is ready. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna add a little bit of flour at a time until you see that it stops sticking. Right now, it's sticking to the bowl, right? It looks really sticky, like cookie dough. It's almost there, so you don't need much more. Go ahead, Okay, let's stop there. And when you have your machine, you will let it knead for about 5 minutes. Okay, every machine has a kneading hook. The KitchenAid has a kneading hook. So let's feel yours. Yours feels good. I wouldn't add no more flour to it. It's really coming together really good. And if you add too much flour, it's gonna get thick. So now at this point, you can use the palms and just knead it in like that. And you would do that for about 5 minutes, okay? And if it gets a little sticky, just put a little bit. So let me just explain something. Sometimes, you know, we can tend to add too much flour and make the dough too stiff. So what I like to do is instead of adding more flour, I like to put a little oil in my hand. Okay, so if it's not sticking to the sides of the bowl, that's the one. Okay.
Just put that on there.
Yeah, I'm gonna just. Did you bring that spray bottle, William? Huh? Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is perfect. Like, I wouldn't do any more. And King Arthur likes to use this terminology. They said it needs to feel soft like a baby's bottom. Okay? And I think it's soft like a baby's bottom. And so we're just like, maybe just on a slight thick. So you just use your hands, get the dough into it. All right, let's see how yours is. Okay. Yours, I think, is good. It would be the same way. You would need a little bit. See, there's a little oil in your cup there. Okay, let me just put it in my hand. Okay, and give me your hand, because I actually should be giving this to you. Okay, and rub your hands together. Okay, yeah, take it, go ahead. How much oil? It was maybe a tablespoon of oil, not much more than a tablespoon, maybe a little bit less than a tablespoon.
Can you overknead it? Can you overwork it?
No, I wouldn't need it more than 5 minutes. It's about as much as your ears can handle, the machine anyway, so kind of like, okay, so at this point, you will let this sit for about 45 minutes. Okay, until it will rise, double in size, and then at that point, it's ready to work. Okay?
All right.
And oh, we didn't add the salt. I forgot about the salt.
Oh, no.
So what are we gonna do at this point? What should we do?
I don't know.
You don't know? Anybody knows what you do?
Well, you work it in.
Work it in.
Because on sourdough, you don't put your salt in until it looks like that. So it just takes a lot of holes.
Right. So just gotta go kneading again. Go ahead to it, girl. And you're gonna have to do the same thing. So let's use your plate. But that's what you do. If you forget it, you forget the salt. You just add it in afterwards. Just spread it out. Oh, this dough feels really great. You're gonna be a good cook. I'm telling you, you're just like very perfect at it. So go ahead and knead it in. So now you get to do a little bit of work there. Okay, while they're doing that, I'm gonna clean up here, and I am going to put the sauce into a skillet because I want to cut up the stuffed pizza, and we're gonna get ready to serve our food. We are done. Here's some knives, Will. We're going to take out the machine. Okay, yes, thank you. So my husband's reminding me, we also have a gluten-free pizza. One of the pizzas has hot peppers and the works on it. The other one does not have hot peppers. So when you come through the line, make sure you look at both of them and you ask which one is the one without the hot peppers, and my husband will let you know.
Now this seems very sticky to me, but you're saying
It's sticky?
it's not.
Well, you
But
probably
you wouldn't add more.
I would not add
Yeah, at
more,
home I would, and
but just
I
go-
probably would make a mistake.
just because I don't have extra oil.
Oh.
You can add a little bit of that, of flour. And I would just leave it because you're gonna work it later.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be worked later. So I would
So
just,
the salt will get.
yeah, we can always add more flour later when it gets needed again.
All right, I'm gonna go wash my.
Okay. And do you have the towel?
Just, I left this thing uncovered.
Do you know where the towel is?
It's in the truck.
Okay. Okay, now we have some extra sofrito that was left over, and we are selling it for $1. We just want to get rid of it. It's frozen, and if you want it, just let me know. We will get it at the farmhouse. We'll bring it over tonight, and you can purchase it from us, okay? So it's exactly a half a cup measurement, okay? So just let us know if you want any more of that. Okay. Whew, that's hot. Okay, let's see how your dough is doing. And I think this is good. We're just gonna add a little flour to it. Okay, and we're just gonna leave it as a ball like this. Okay, and we're gonna put it in this bag in here, just to keep it nice and moist. So I should have mentioned this. So if you put it in a bowl, you can cover it with your lid, right? So you have a bowl like this that comes with a lid. You just put the lid over it, or you take a towel, wet it, and then you place it on top, or saran wrap you can put on top. The point is to keep the moisture in the dough. Okay, if you leave it open, it will dry out and it won't rise the way it needs to. Thank you so much. Let's give them a hand of applause. They did a great job. Okay, and this is the gluten-free pizza that we use. It's Bob's Red Mill pizza crust mix, okay? And that's a nice recipe. Yeah, I'm just trying to move everything out. Okay, can we have a volunteer pray for the food? Anybody, raise your hand. Let's pray for the food. Nobody wants to pray. Okay, thank you. Go ahead, pray.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for Liz teaching us how to cook healthy. And Lord, we thank you for this food. We may nourish and simplify. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Okay, I'm just gonna finish cleaning up here a little bit and then throw the sauce into here, and then you guys can come on up and let's see here. Let's leave this out here. And it's totally plant-based. It's vegan. Now, we did use Daya cheese in the pizza, okay? He's tired. Just warming up the sauce so that you can have sauce with your stuffed pizza. The spoons, Will? Right there. And we'll take out the napkins and the plates.
I think we should put your cookies on the other side.
Okay. Then we'll just put the,
Take this stuff out.
I just wanted to leave it out for them to see.
Well, I was going to put the plates here.
Put it right here. Okay, this is the stuffed pizza. Okay,
Stuffed pizza.
yeah, I'm gonna push it down.
You want more?
And I think I need to cut this smaller.
What's that?
The,
Oh, yes, I forgot cookies.
yeah.
Yes, my fault.
Can I
cut
get
it-
the scissors?
I cut it with scissors. I could do that.
I could do it. I could do it.
Okay.
Okay, we can come on up and I'll just continue cutting this and serve it.